Legacy, Destiny, a finale. So much to come ahead, so much on the line, so much to be gained and to be lost as AEW goes all in for the first time here in America, in Texas. And this is City Predicting for AEW's biggest show here in the company's history in the U.S. Welcome to the discussion as this is Simply Predicting all in Texas. Let's fucking go! And let's keep it simple tonight, folks. Hello, everybody. Thank Christ I got an easy panel tonight. Welcome once again to another edition of Simply Predicting. I am the Simple Man of the Simple Man for Great Ball Professional Wrestling. Damn it, my name is Noah Foster. And believe it or not, it was not just me. I thought it was going to be just me, but this gentleman surprised me like the Casino Gauntlet surprises sometimes. One half of the Dominguez Emmanuel, the only half of the Dominguez is participating in the All Elite League, as he's doing very well with score of 24, with the top scores being 27. Great job, Greg and Ian. Keep it up. And shout out to the all-elite team of No DQ, as me and Matthew hold it down. No, I am not Nicholas. We are not Jackson Brothers. We are not the Young Bucks. We're actually far better human beings. But thank you all for tuning in once again to another edition of City Predicting. Thank you all so much. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Arlene, I think it would be funny if you just RJ City this and just came in with your own blind thoughts. So if you do want to come in here, I more than welcome it. Again, folks, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. If you want to dictate the conversation, PayPal, the passions, or Super Chat. It's as simple as that. Darren G, good to see you indeed. Let's freaking go! And Bali Man, thank you so much. And again, folks, you all make this possible. The passion continues to carry us forward in all things professional wrestling. So I hope you enjoyed the simple discussion. And if you haven't already, go check out Aaron Rick's No DQ recap of tonight's Dynamite. I will be foreshadowing that also tonight, so spoilers will be ahead. I dare you, Arlene, join the fun. Come on, bring us chaos. I dare you. And also, of course, he did his own predictions for All In. Before we'll be live, come after Collision tomorrow, when I freaking know Madman Tony Khan 0-hour booking, official graphics, and more about the Casino Gauntlet participants, which I'm sure we'll also get. And you're always an honorable guest, even if you're a horrible guesser. All right, that being said, Emmanuel, good to see you. Here you are 2 days in a row. I'm curious if you're going to make it 3 for 3. How you feel about AEW all in Texas?
I mean, like, it's going to be an exciting day for these AEW fans. Like, as there is WrestleMania, as many pointing out, there's some great matches on paper that would, any hardcore wrestler would be proud to be seen. Yeah, and hopefully they deliver. I mean, like, they need to really make that statement and show the people what people are missing now, because
WWE people what they want.
Exactly, like WWE's been struggling lately, and this is AEW's opportunity to strike and rather iron spot, because a lot of people are saying, I'm going to AEW Pro Wrestling, and let's see if the paper hits the wall and sticks and make the viewers stay.
Well, it may make the viewers stay. It may make viewers come to the product as well, because at the end of the day, sometimes you get ahead, but not even watching the show. Apparently, that's Matthew's secret. So I'm very curious if you, Arlene, will agree, disagree, and in her All Elite League debut, as far as I'm concerned, because I dared to fill out the form, I'm sure she's going to have some fun predictions tonight after I give the text. That being said, let's go ahead and hear from the other half, the leader of NXT, might I add, the NXT League. It's Arlene Dominguez. Arlene, good to see you. Oh, good Lord, I'm with both Dominguez's tonight, and I'm alone. Lord help me. This is the Chaos Panel. I can already tell what I'm in for, but this should be fun. Arlene, how you feeling about AEW all in from a mutual standpoint? Because this should be interesting.
Honestly, I don't really watch it unless my brother watches it. So that's why I was like, I don't really watch it. I was like, I'll watch it. You guys predicting, but you're like, hey, just a guess. I'm like, I could be sometimes a good guesser. Sometimes I feel like I'm a good guesser when it comes to NXT. So some of the ones like I get right, like, or like stuff like, I'm like, huh, I took a complete guess right there. But yeah, I know I'm tied though. Yeah, I'm tied with like 2 other people. So I'll take that over being at the end.
That's fair. Again, you haven't even participated in this league, but I dare you to try because why the heck not? But again, this is a nice case study too because I love what Sid the Predicting brings professional wrestling fans of all forms: the casuals, the hardcores, the unknowns to the product, the passionate to the product. So I'm very curious to see, especially because you also have siblings, how one half that knows a little bit of it versus one half that doesn't know none of it. Have a discussion tonight. So I think this will be really interesting. And I think there definitely is a lot to discuss. And I know the chat's also here to cause mischief and bring their predictions in too. And I appreciate and welcome all of you. Safet, by the way, good to see you. And Charles, I know I always got you, bro. All right, so I think without further ado, City Predicting community, all elite fleet, professional wrestling fans, hardcore, casual galore, newcomers, and continue on goers, and my friends. Let's get right into it. So again, this is AEW All in Texas. It is AEW's biggest show here in America to date in this company's young history. You all can, of course, watch along with us this Saturday during our live watch along event, purchasing it through your local providers. Unless you are international, you have other options like pay-per-view. I believe there's Main Event down in Australia. For here in America, the primary way to go outside Dave & Buster's is Amazon Prime Video. And if you purchase All in Texas for Amazon Prime Video right now, you get a $10 credit for Prime Video to use towards anything, whether it's a future AEW pay-per-view or some other digital content. So please keep that in mind. We got a unique card here on tap tonight: championship matches, championship aspirations, and so far officially, and I am going to keep saying that officially, and stay tuned, folks. I will have a simple update if Madman Tony Khan does add stuff during Collision, because you know he will. Officially, we have 8 matches on tap. So why don't we go ahead and get right into the fun discussion. Again, folks, that's this Saturday, July 12th, AEW All in Texas, live on pay-per-view, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with a 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 hour, 0 hour, with Renee Paquette, RJ City, and Double J. That Double J, J-E-F-F-J-A-R-E-T-T, Jeff Jarrett. Ain't he great? And I want to give a shout out quick also to my friends, Montserrat, of course, a previous graduate of the Rhodes Wrestling Academy, as well as my brother from ATW, the Kanji King, who will be going all in live this weekend. I hope that they have a phenomenal time. All right, let's go ahead and start talking about some of these matches, shall we? And I think we will start simple. We will start with the TNT Championship, because let's see if you believe the champion is undisputed or a proto star waiting to hear his name heard by over 20,000 strong. It's Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship. This is their second singles encounter. As the previous encounter ended via disqualification with Don Callis family interference, and continued wars with the Don Callis family and the Paragon have ensued pretty much since Double or Nothing. Kyle Fletcher has been hell-bent on getting the TNT Championship from Adam Cole. We, of course, saw the No. 1 Contenders match last week where Kyle Fletcher did beat Daniel Garcia after Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole are lobbying for a triple threat. Kyle Fletcher, a former Ring of Honor World Television Champion, is hell-bent and looks to stop at nothing, even potentially injuring Adam Cole, who's had a fair share of mental and physical warfare to get this title. And I will warn you all in advance, there will be spoilers from tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite, so please watch with caution. Tonight on AEW Dynamite, there was a tag team match with Protashita, of course, Kyle Fletcher and Kenosuke Takeshita, taking on the team of Bandito and, of course, Brody King. And it was Kyle Fletcher and Kenosuke that got the win, as Kenosuke did pin the Ring of Honor World Champion. And stay tuned for City Predicting more this Friday for Ring of Honor, folks. But Adam Cole, he's also had his fair share of fallout with Kyle Fletcher as well. I don't think Adam Cole has been pinned by Kyle Fletcher yet to this point. And this will be his 4th defense of the TNT Championship. Okay, Emmanuel, the TNT Championship, the history and legacy of this title. I'm pretty sure it's the most changed title in AEW history. But Adam Cole has been a fighting champion, and he's already beaten members of the Don Callis family, including Josh Alexander. So what do you think? Do you have a brand new TNT champion?
Yes, I do. No, I think Kyle Fletcher's to get this TNT championship in my predictions, because they did a lot of story work with him and Will Ospreay, and he got some victories out of him. And he's young, he's an upcoming star, and AEW really needs to build up stars. That's the focal point for this their WrestleMania All In. So for me, it's a clear what TK is thinking. Kyle Fletcher for the win and have a promising future for him because he's going to be a future AEW World Champion one day, but not yet.
Well, I'm glad you got that level of potential, though, in Kyle Fletcher. And he's definitely been one of those wrestlers to break out in his own, away from Osprey shout since joining John Callis, and more so being comfortable with himself, not only in the ring, but what he believes his own skills can be. Again, near finalist in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, a strong run in last year's Continental Classic. And I think the sky's the limit for Kyle Fletcher. So him winning the TNT Championship, where we know the Don Castle will be heavily involved this weekend across both All In and Ring Supercard of Honor, that'd be a hell of a coup for Kyle Fletcher and the Don Callis family, to say the least. But again, it's one of those things right now. You enter the first match in disqualification. Nothing is really settled. How much does it take? How far do you go to get to that title? And let's keep in mind, championship matches on pay-per-views for the TV titles have 30 minutes, not 20. So it's one of those things where I do think we're going to get some title changes, of course, at All In, but this one has me scratching my head. And I think for right now, I'm going to say that Adam Cole, because again, he hasn't had that definitive one-on-one win yet. I'm going to say Adam Cole actually retains. I think they're going to draw this out a little bit further because the only way I see Kyle Fletcher winning the title is if they set up a unique opponent from the UK or Australia for him at the Forbidden Door. And I think there is more to this storyline with the fact I finally beat you or you can't beat me, or you actually saved the title to a draw. Let's throw the clock out. 2 out of 3 falls. It was 2 out of 3 falls that defined Adam Cole's run against Johnny Gargano when it came to the NXT Championship, and Adam Cole lost that night, but he won the follow-up and became one of the most notorious NXT champions in history. So I'm going to say Adam Cole pulls it out. I think he lasts for a little bit longer. I say Adam Cole retains. Arlene, why don't you go ahead and share your blind thoughts? Here's your wild card, folks. Considering we got a casino gauntlet. Go ahead and pick a name, Adam Cole or Kyle Fletcher. I don't know if she's still there or not. There she is.
I'm here. I'm like having problems with the camera. I'm on
no
my
worries.
tablet. I'm on my tablet, and for some reason, it doesn't want to rotate. It just, and I'm trying to charge my tablet, so that's why.
We still got your voice, and that's what's most important. But go
So
ahead.
right now it's like, yeah. So
if it does that again, just you can stay off camera, and I'll just cue you. But please speak.
yeah, I'll turn it on when it's my turn.
Fair
But
enough. Save the battery.
yeah, save the battle. But I'm still here.
Save the battle.
But just when you were explaining the match, as soon as I heard it that this title is a hot potato, I was like, okay, then I can see this title going to Kyle Fletcher just because of the fact that it's hot potato. And that's and the fact that you said that he's beat everybody in the family, so there has to be someone in the family that's able to beat him, and then that can kind of create a rift within the family because he's the only one that's been able to beat Adam Cole out of the whole family. So that's my logic, at least, that he's going to be the only one to be able to do it. Everybody else is not even going to come close, and maybe he's going to realize maybe he doesn't need the family after all, and maybe he ends up going on his own. But that's just based on what you told me right now.
I mean, again, a blind analysis, and I respect that. And it is one of those things. Again, he beat Judge Alexander. He hasn't faced Konosuke Takeshita. He outlasted the Death Rider, Claudio Castagnoli. So, again, Adam Cole's got a good win record holding the TNT championship. But I think Kyle Fletcher is his most dangerous obstacle to overcome. And unless Adam Cole feels 100% vindicated, I can see them running this back. That's why I think that he will retain. But I like the fact here that we already are polarized. And looking at the chat, Charles saying, time for Kyle to win the belt. Sorry, Ash. Of course, he's referring to our Canadian friend. Again, don't be a dickhead if you haven't already. Subscribe. Appreciate you, Ash. And stay tuned. She might be back here for Evolution tomorrow. Harleen, I hope you're part of that too, personally. Again, respect women in wrestling and the fans of wrestling as well. All right, so that being said, it's 2 for Kyle, 1 for Adam Cole. And again, your opinions not only matter, they are subject to change, just like matches and anything else. Your predictions will not be final, and I will have the format again after Collision tomorrow. Your predictions will not be final until, we'll say, just be safe, because I know there's going to be matches on the 0 hour, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. So stay tuned for more of that on my social medias. And yeah, don't be a dickhead. Freaking Zack Sabre Jr. All right, let's go ahead and move on into our next match. And I think, considering how everything else is pretty much championship implications or future championship aspirations, let's have some fun, shall we? And this is where our lean can really get crazy, if you know what I mean, or local. Let's talk about the men's casino gauntlet match. For those that don't know, a gauntlet match goes as follows. Two men will start, and at random intervals, another man will enter the fray. And this match will continue until the first pinfall or submission is rendered in the ring. And whoever does that gets a future shot at the AEW World Championship. And we know this much so far about this year's casino gauntlet match at All In. We know 4 participants, thanks to Dynamite, Ricochet, Mystical, a CMLL, and number 1 and number 2 have both been defined in Fatal 4-Way qualifiers. Number 1 is Mark Briscoe, and number 2, everyone's favorite scumbag, MJF. After tonight's talky talk on Dynamite, yes, I kid you not, folks, that's what it was billed. MJF made it as personal as he could, literally saying the Briscoe that should have been involved in the accident. If Jay was here, he'd be saying right now to you, Mark, it should have been you. Damn. Which made Brock Briscoe almost drive the man with a J driller and go freaking fanatic, saying, "You have me up. This is what I need. Now I'm going to whip your cottontail ass this Saturday and win this casino gauntlet match at All In and place my ticket towards the championship as Mark Briscoe only can." The word of the day, by the way, was bankrupt, but whoever wins this is going to possibly hit the jackpot because it will lead towards a future AEW Championship opportunity. Now, here's how fun this gets for you. In typical prediction fashion, for those that have followed the prediction leagues that I book, of course, no DQ, you get 2 picks. Your primary worth 2, your secondary worth 1. So good luck. All right, so that being said, Emmanuel, you know a little bit about the AEW roster. You know who could be potentially in line to challenge for the AEW Championship or who you may want to see challenge for the AEW Championship outside these names. So let your mind go wild, man, considering they will face either Heyman Adam Page or Jon Moxley at a later date. Who are your 2 picks to win the men's casino gauntlet match?
For me, like the better story, it makes me wonder if MJF does win this casino gauntlet match, that if he's gonna hand it to Lashley or not, and he has the decision to either give it to him or maybe he get beats up doing like for not giving his tie opportunity for him. So it's gonna be one of those. I want to see the storyline like further because of that. So it'd be an interesting one.
Okay.
Other than that, if for some odd reason Jon Moxley still is champion, I could see Darby Allin like could be this year's winner for all we know. And basically he's the only last pillar of AEW who has not won the World Championship yet. He was there since the beginning. He showed that he's willing to be a crush dummy for them. He's willing to put a flag and Mount Rushmore, like
Everest,
much botch for me, much Everest for them. I mean, like he's willing to do anything for the company. He's a company yes guy. Like it doesn't matter what position you put him. Those are the 2 people I'm more intrigued winning this match.
Well, that's definitely fair. And I mean, you think about the moving parts right now in the casino gauntlet. I think Mark Briscoe and MJF is a great singles rivalry to build into the fall season, personally, especially how personal it got during the talkie talk. And I tried, Darren G. And of course, Mystical and MJF, I think they still have a one-on-one match waiting for them as well, based on the assault in Arena Mexico and MLW. Darby Allin, though, would be such an obvious red herring because you would imagine if Darby was in this and won the casino gauntlet, he would have to finish his story against Jon Moxley, the man that took the opportunity from him in the first place, saying, "You're not ready." A year later, are you now ready? That would be for Jon Moxley to decide if he leaves on with the championship, which makes me think if Darby Allin wins, John Moxley has to be the opponent he challenges for the title and inevitably win if that's what people want. So I don't think Darby Allin's going to be in this, but I do think Darby Allin returns Saturday at All In. I'll talk more about that later. My two picks kind of, though, are I got to go with MJF. Not only does MJF have a history with almost everybody in AEW, he's kind of been a spirit when it comes to what it means to literally lead this company your own way and not off a paycheck from the E. He was very prolific, by the way, in recent interviews. Thanks, King, by the way, for sharing that with me. And again, whether it's Will Ospreay, whether it's Heyman and Page, whether it's John Moxley, who he beat, by the way, to start his incredible run as AEW World Champion, the longest reigning AEW World Champion in the company. MJF's pretty much got everybody's number in AEW, considering what he's capable of doing in and out of the ring. So MJF's got to be, I think, number 2 for me. But number 1, it's got to be somebody you got to think is going to challenge for the championship soon. So is that Forbidden Door? Is that All Out? Is that another special, spectacular, Lord help us, that Tony Khan could book as well? And with the field being so vacated right now, as far as what we know, I'm actually going to go on a limb here. Again, just something to change. I'm going to give it to a guy that I think should get a world title shot, considering the worker he's been. I'm going with Brody King. Brody King's been such an incredible competitor and worker in AEW. Of course, tournament competitor. He's had incredible matches. Notorious 25-week-long AEW Trios champion. And I think Brody King and John Moxley could have a very unique promo dynamic before that championship match, considering a lot of Brody King, what he is, I think John Moxley can relate to when it comes to the type of violent competitor and his way in the business, not being the clean-cut athlete, etc., etc. We don't know the entire story of Brody King, clearly, but AEW fans can relate enough to Brody King to respect what he brings in that ring, and I think he deserves a shot. He also hasn't won one of these major tournaments since winning the Battle Royale from Blood and Guts a few years ago, where, might I add, he previously challenged John Moxley, I think, for the title. So, yeah, I think for right now, I'm going to go with MJF number 2 and Brody King as my surprise number 1, because I don't know how fast the field is going to be. I don't know who may show up or return or maybe all elite. And that's part of the fun of these Casino Gauntlet matches, to say the least. Well, Arlene, again, who you want to see maybe challenge in the future for the AEW World Championship outside these names, or someone you may have heard of that could be an AEW, coming AEW, a manual top AEW? Go ahead, wild card.
Yeah, I had to Google to see who was in the AEW men's roster to see who I would pick.
I love that.
And a lot of them like, oh, they're already champion unless they're gonna be Mercedes Moné and carry more than the one title. I don't see them going in there. Just based on the names that like I recognize, and these were probably gonna be wild cards because you guys haven't mentioned them. But my second pick would be Jack Perry, just cause. Just because the whole CM Punk debacle and everything like that, I feel like they might throw him in there and stuff just to spite people who like CM Punk. And then my number 1 pick, Hook, would be my number 1 pick.
Wow.
Just because my friend Kim really likes him and that she says that he's a really good wrestler, and that's the other name that stood out to me. I was like, you know what? Like, my friend Kim talks about him that he's really good at wrestling and stuff, and yeah, just because of that.
So you want to send a Hook? Got it. You'll have your chips on standby. I like that though. I mean, Hook's another young athlete. Previously lasted 10 minutes with Samoa Joe when he was AEW World Champion. And again, whether or not he's on concussion protocol still or not, we haven't seen Hook since basically the Death Riders. So again, he has that vendetta towards John Moxley. Got assaulted, ribs first in that chair, and basically had to be vacated of the Trios champion. That made Hobbs an ops, and quite a definitive ops, for being honest. So I like that. Charles, that's a fair shout out because Eddie Kingston and John Moxley, I feel like that's something that needs to happen, especially with the way John Moxley has kind of turned the page on what the AEW World Championship represents and what AEW is, and whether or not Eddie Kingston agrees with him when there was so much disagreement at first with Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. It'd be a very different dynamic in their long-term history. What's up, Emmanuel?
Didn't John Moxley protect Eddie Kingston in that infamous botch AEW spot?
Yes, he did at Revolution 2021. We don't talk about that.
But okay, I was just confirming. It'd be
Oh, no,
poetic,
it's
but it'd be poetic if it was Eddie Kingston who dethrones Moxley at the end. You know, saving his own friend out of his madness. That'd be some poetic justice.
I mean, again, Eddie Kingston, Darby Allin, that's two people AEW fans might be hoping to see one day become the AEW World Champion. And if you looked at their careers in AEW, justifiably so. Again, Colin, good to see you. And Walter, no problem. Safe travels. Get it done. And we look forward to having you back here soon. Again, always reliable. ... Reliable. Yes, Arlene.
Oh, I was gonna say, and if I had a third pick, I would pick Shelton Benjamin, just because I feel like he should have a chance at the title. It's something that he wasn't able to do in WWE. Thank you.
Well, again, still, you know what? Honestly, that might have been the wrestler. I think I did mention him for underrated wrestler. No, that was Sean Spears and Chad Gable. Yeah, he's underrated as a singles competitor. Only left to the mid card for the Intercontinental Championship. That would be cool. By the way, happy 50th birthday to Shelton Benjamin. Well, All Out is in Toronto, and we haven't seen Cozy was assaulted by FTR, but would he go after FTR on his return? Or would he go back after the AEW World Champion, considering, well, we did see, of course, that street fight that John Moxley did win to 51-on-1 with that infamous spike spot. But still, never say never. Things can happen. All right. Well, good stuff, everybody. I really like that dynamic conversation. Now, since I just talked about Shelton Benjamin and, of course, being his birthday, and I'm sure everyone likes to see him hurt people. They hurt people. Let's go ahead and talk about the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It's a triple threat as of right now. It's the Patriarchy, Christian Cage and Nick Wayne, who have a goal, according to Christian Cage, to become the first father-son, quote unquote, tag team champions in AEW history. Why Jet Speed, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight have literally had the piss beaten out of them and hurt out of them 3 times over last week. But it was Kevin Knight that got a pinfall win in triple threat action against Nick Wayne and Shelton Benjamin, pinning Shelton Benjamin with the UFO splash to earn this opportunity and further infuriate the Hurt Syndicate. And for those that watched Dynamite tonight, you saw the Hurt Syndicate get hurt by Jet Speed and the Patriarchy, with Jet Speed absconding with their tag team championships, luring them back, still in the building, after the talkie talk went to total disarray and Mark Briscoe was about to J-drill MJF. The Hurt Syndicate were about to come and do a 4-way beatdown. Jet Speed saw the chance from behind and MVP, and the Patriarchy adding kind, including 2 concertos to Bobby Lashley's leg. So good luck spearing somebody with a bad leg, Almighty. That being said, as of right now, it is still a 3-way for the AEW Tag Team Championships, and you will also see 2 of these teams involved in tag team match tomorrow on Collision. Jet Speed and the Outriders will go against the Patriarchy and FTR in 8-man tag team action. Whether the Hurt Syndicate comes for revenge to hurt everybody, that remains to be seen. All right, Emmanuel, you know how Triple Threat goes. You know the formula. You know what I always talk about. You have Buffer, you have Fall People. Since Jet Speed is the newest tag team on the scene, outside Patriarchy that's been a unit but has this new identity, since Nick Wayne returned for the Best Super Juniors. But the Hurt Syndicate has been on another level when it comes to presentation and dominance. The first time we've ever seen them vulnerable was tonight on Dynamite, and I think all they did was just further piss them off. Do you think there's a chance that we get brand new AEW Tag Team Champions at All In?
No, we don't. The Hurt Syndicate, it's the best thing AEW right now. It'd be too soon for them to lose those titles still. The tag team division needs development and or more credibility, more build. So they gotta kind of wait it out till a harder tag team comes along and it's worthy to take out of their hands. If I was Tony Khan, right, in this mentality, the fans still seems to love them. They still cheer for them. They still go nuts for them when they go out there. And I'm not sure how they're doing merchandise wise, but it's an easy call for me if I was Tony Khan. The Hurt Syndicate.
Okay. Arlene, I think it goes to the wrestling business. When you book a triple threat, you book a change more likely to happen. To Charles' point, he thinks the picture is going to win this match. The Hertzogate doesn't get pinned. To Emmanuel's point, though, the Hertzogate has not been pinned or submitted yet as a tag team in AEW. Jet Speed, though, again, they just became a tag team, but the jury is out whether they're going into this match at 100%, especially after last week. But what do you think based on the picture that has literally been shaped by the AEW tag team division?
He basically took my answer. That was basically what I was gonna say. I said father and son duo become the first champions, I guess, in AEW, right? The first
Father
father
son,
and son.
yeah,
Yeah,
according to Christian
duo.
Cage's
Yeah.
mentality.
Well, I just wanted to sure because I wasn't sure if that's sexual fact or not. And they become the champions, and the way they become champions is that they pin Speed Bob Bailey and the other guy because I don't know the other guy's name. I
Kevin
recognize
Knight.
Speed Bailey, but so yeah, that's exactly what he had just put right there. I think that's what's gonna end up happening.
Well, I mean, again, look at tomorrow night. FTR, Outrunners. FTR I'll be watching closely. Outrunners previously faced the Hurt Syndicate back at Revolution for the tag team championships. And then you got these three teams here. That's 6 tag teams right now. And then, of course, I think about, that Hounds of Hell, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King. There are some tag teams. Gates of Agony, of course, previously challenged the Hurt Syndicate as well. The Hurt Syndicate have been clamoring for teams to try and hurt them. Well, they got hurt tonight, but it took 2 of them. It almost feels like an AOP, DIY, FTR situation here where the 2 teams need to gain up and eliminate the tag champs to get a chance at the titles. Now, truth be told, back at NXT TakeOver Orlando, didn't work out so well. AOP retained. Again, my NXT. But I think right now, again, the Hurt Syndicate, they are one of the, not the best tag teams and best fans literally on AEW television. So I think the Hurt Syndicate is going to retain. I just think they made them a bit more vulnerable. And I think the Hurt Syndicate is going to literally still hurt Jet Speed, but I think they're going to hold out on the Christian Cage and Nick Wayne traditional tag team match because of MVP's and Christian Cage's history. And by the way, MVP for the first time took a bump. He was assaulted tonight as well. He was down for the count. So I think that actually the Hurt Syndicate are going to retain. I just don't see a team right now on their level that could carry these titles with this level of dominance and also this level of come challenge me and see what happens, mother effer. So why you say patriarchy? I say Hurt Syndicate. What's up, Arlene? I see your hand.
Oh, I was gonna say it's just because MJF's part of them now, and he hasn't made the best of friends with certain people. So who knows that maybe someone might cost her and syndicate on behalf of MJF because he's creating a lot of enemies as a result of it. Just saying.
Well, also, let's not forget what Bobby Lashley and MVP talked about behind closed doors. If MJF gets out of line, they hurt him. But do you pull the trigger on, I don't know, MJF versus Bobby Lashley this soon? I don't think so. And honestly, with MJF, part of the Hurt Syndicate and the MJF and MVP chemistry, the Hurt Syndicate is the most complete faction right now, in my opinion, in all professional wrestling. I want to see this go the distance. I really do. And I think they're just getting started with MJF now being part of the crew. That's why I think the Hurt Syndicate still holds strong, even if they are somewhat vulnerable, somewhat quote unquote. Hurt Syndicate retains. All right. Well, Arlene, even though you don't watch AEW, I am going to let you lead this match because ladies first, also spotlight, please. Let's go ahead and get your thoughts towards this, folks. Get ready. Is it the Timeless One's last stand in the spotlight? And does the CEO add the most richest prize to her portfolio? I know I'm about to trigger the chat. It's time to talk about the AEW Women's World Championship. And this is a first time ever one-on-one match. Timeless Tony Storm defends the gold, all caps, might I add, of AEW against the TBS champion Mercedes Moné, who is still unpinned, unsubmitted, undefeated in AEW. We saw during the face-to-face in the opening tonight on Dynamite, Mercedes Moné was basically put in place by Timeless Tony Storm simply said, you will never win the big one. Or Mercedes Moné says, that title is my legacy, is my destiny. Bottom line, destiny to be defined or destiny denied. Who gets checkmate in this war games of truly who is the best for the AEW Women's World Championship? Arlene, I put it to you first. dare I ask, do you have a new AEW Women's World Champion? Or do we finally see Mercedes Moné eat her first loss in AEW and Thomas Joy Storm retains?
Oh, I feel like Mercedes Monet is gonna be, I don't know how many title champion, because that's just who Mercedes Monet is. I don't, and even then, like, if Tony Storm does win, like I was watching the review with you guys, who do you guys see they're throning her? Because I mean, what is Tony Storm without the title? Like didn't go how many months without the title before she got it back from um
The Glamour, Mariah May.
yeah, yeah, Mariah May. There you go. I couldn't think of her name for a second, but like she wasn't that much without a championship, and then she regained it back. So to me, it's like, what is Tony Storm without the title? What do you do with her after she loses it? You know. So either way, you kind of booked yourself into a corner, because it's like, whether she wins or loses, it's like, what does she do now that she lost the title? You know, what's next for Tony Storm? Who do you
Well, I
have
mean,
her face?
well, I mean, hey, to your point, the last time she lost was All In last year in Wembley Stadium against the Glamour Mariah May, and she two-step Charleston out of the spotlight into obscurity until she returned with her best portrayal of the original Tony Storm, pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, and beat the Glamour Mariah May back in Grand Slam and sent her off in the WWE off the Hollywood ending. Still my women's match of the year. But again, streaks are made to be broken, and history is also meant to be denied and to be made. And when I look at these two and I think about longevity, variety, a different dynamic every time she wrestles with the title on the line, I give that more so to Thomas Tori Storm with the singles championship versus Mercedes Moné and her various championships. So again, I still believe, and I can't believe I'm saying this considering where I was last year, I think Timeless Tony Storm will finally give Mercedes Moné her first loss. I can't see Timeless Tony Storm losing this title, especially with the influx of other talent coming into the AEW Women's Division that's going to have unique matches with. We just saw Thekla. We got Pro Wrestling E's Alex Windsor to join the roster. As far as I'm concerned, there's still a whole lot more future presentations with Timeless Tony Storm than you get with Control C, Control V, Mercedes Moné. Again, great in-ring competitor, but as far as that outside stuff to draw you in, it's all the same kind of, and it gets really old really quick. Then again, she's a businesswoman. Businesswomen aren't those original. Just saying. Nope, I'm going with Thomas Tori Storm retaining. Otherwise, it might be literally a dictatorship of the AEW Women's Division as we know it. Lord help us. Again, she already has the TBS championship. She doesn't need both championships of AEW. If she didn't have the TBS championship, I almost would agree with you. I was this close holding up for Mina Shirakawa to beat her for that. If Mina would have won, I would have said Mercedes Moné was going to win here. Mina didn't. Tyler Story Storm has to win. She has to, for Pete's sake. She has to. Emmanuel, what do you think? It's split. You're the decider.
I'm torn about this because of certain Mercedes Moné. I was telling my sister today on Instagram where I read an interview with Tony Khan saying that he's not booking Mercedes to win all the time, that she's not in control of her own narrative, that he's making the decisions, which is kind of BS. It's fake fact. Tony, you're smoking something. Mercedes making those decisions.
Again, we don't work, but again, again, what is text unless you actually are behind the scenes, just saying. Exactly. Unless you're in Mercedes Moné's pocket, Tony Khan's pocket, or even that Janet Pepperman woman's pocket, you don't know. You're
I agree. I agree. No, like I'm just assuming, but how much he pays her and the return investment, we don't know how much he's willing to green back for because that's base facts. Like that she should have been thrown so many times for those TBS championship and the other titles that's long to list down. Like she shouldn't be this much of a factor of every industry being the main woman. I agree with you. Like I think in the best interest of wrestling, If Mercedes really loves this industry, she needs to lose against Tony Storm. If this is
Dot.
Noah, if Mercedes does win this AEW Women's Championship, she doesn't love the industry. She hates it.
That's a hot take.
It's a hot take. Yeah, I know. She's selfish. She only cares about herself. She doesn't care about the fans. The only person she cares about is herself. So if Mercedes wins all in, bury the whole AEW Women's division, like make her the AEW Tag Team Women's Champion at this point. Or just a discussion in the future, but that's another topic in the later day if they ever get created. But I'm with you, Noah. Like I hope Tony does win it and make Mercedes eat her first pinfall in the AEW career. If not, like I said, I don't want to be that guy to pick Mercedes because I had that deep feeling she's going to become that Mercedes Hogan that the IWC is calling and
brother.
Yeah, exactly. But this sister. Is like exactly, sister. It feels like the Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior in some cases. I see this as the title type of for the women. Mm-hmm. Both are established. And one's could be the face of the women's division. For me, there's more longevity for Tony Storm than Mercedes.
Yeah, and keyword, she's timeless. We all die eventually. Legends, legacies, history falls to dust. She wasn't wrong there. At the end of the day, there's not a more featured wrestler that can give you an infinity dynamic with anybody right now in the business than timeless Tony Storm while she's holding that championship. She needs to be the next one to pass the torch towards whoever she thinks can be a leader of this division. And Mercedes Moné for me isn't that as long as she's holding the TBS title, because why would somebody hold both the mid-card and the world championship of your division unless you're going to unify them? You're basically holding the whole entire division underneath you. You might as well be a dictator. So, no. Downward dictatorship, up with democracy. Thomas Tony Storm retains this year at All In. And it'll be the first time she actually wins at All In, by the way, too, considering this is the third time we're going All In. The first one, 4-way, lost to Saraya. The second one, lost to Mariah May. Let's not make All In the stage that timeless Tony Storm literally loses. I'm just saying. Thomas Tony Storm for the win. And see. All right. Well, good talk, everybody. Let's go ahead and move on into our next match. And speaking of power struggles, authority, dictatorship, democracy, freedom, despite the fact we're not in Glasgow, Scotland yet, and I don't have a Braveheart makeup. But let's go ahead and see if you respect your EVPs, or are you going to say down with the Bucks and finally see some democracy go up? Because in this match, that's what it's all about. The Young Bucks go up against Swerve, Strickland, and Will Ospreay. And the stakes are this. If the Young Bucks lose, they are no longer EVPs of AEW. But if Swerve and Ospreay lose, they cannot challenge for the AEW Championship for a full calendar year. There's a whole lot to stand back when it comes to these four men. Really picked up after Swerve Strickland was cost the AEW Championship, as the Young Bucks aligned themselves with the Death Riders, with their own selfish agenda to get the AEW Championship back in the Elite. While Heyman said, stay the fuck out of my business, Ospreay's business, and Swerve's business. After Heyman beat Ospreay at Double or Nothing and basically buried the past when it came to him and Swerve Strickland. Took a lot to get there, though. We, of course, saw Swerve and Ospreay have a 30-minute time limit match, went to a draw, and we saw Ospreay take a tack-filled bullet for Swerve Strickland while Swerve was cuffed in the corner. So these two are pretty much inseparable, but they're also basically the same type of mindset when it comes to the Young Bucks. You're not doing good for AEW from your EVP position because you are not in control. The people are, and also Tony Khan. So bottom line, you may no longer need to call the Young Bucks EVPs come Saturday at All In if Swerve and Ospreay win. That's the ultimate goal. But you also may not have these two involved in the AEW Championship picture for 1 year if the Young Bucks get the win. That's their goal. High stakes on the line for both sides. So, Emmanuel, let's go back to you. Who do you think wins here? Democracy or dictatorship? The Young Bucks or Swerve and Osprey? Especially after Swerve destroyed their limousine tonight at the end of Dynamite, despite the fact Will Osprey lost in that 8-man All-Star Tag Team match. Was not of a decision, but pretty much the battle lines are drawn. I would say it's 1-1, considering Swerve and the opposition beat the Young Bucks and Death Riders back at Double or Nothing. But as far as this EVP nonsense, I'm truly hoping this is the end game. But what do you think, Emmanuel?
I mean, this is just storyline. Like, even if they lose, there's still going to be EVPs in the end of the day. So it's what quote unquote. So it's nothing's going to change internally in AEW. So this is just if you want to believe that they're no longer AVPs and go, yes, they're no longer AVPs. Thank God. And think there's going to be change in AEW. Then it's obviously Strickland and Will Ospreay. They had to win this because, but it's kind of it's a strange, decision for this stipulation, though, because over a year, like that means somehow, some way, Moxley still champion over the next year.
I don't think that's necessarily true, but I would consider Swerve and Osprey two of the biggest oppositions for the AEW World Championship, which has to be removed from the picture.
Yeah. Okay. About to say because that kind of what it sounds like. Hopefully that's not the case. That Moxley becomes a champion for another year, because that'd be ridiculous at that point. But like, hopefully,
Jury is out.
Yeah, exactly. So for my head, Will Ospreay like needs to win this. Like, even Strickland, they're both main eventers. That it'd be a crime and a shame if they don't ever be in the AEW championship for a year. Kind of ridiculous it by itself. And like, it's like, why? If I'm a fan of Will Ospreay or Strickland, why would I bother seeing the pay-per-view if I'm never going to see them in the main event hunting for that championship? I want more for them. So for me, it's Will Ospreay.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. And again, Osprey is the one that basically, went to that extra chip to get this match with the Young Bucks. So both him and Swerve can go all in and try and neutralize these clowns from, being involved in more of their business. But Swerve's like, what the hell you doing, man? And reluctantly, he did agree. And so far, Swerve and Osprey have been effective as a tag team. They have tag team wins, 2 of them. But it is also one of those things, Arlene. It's not the first time that Swerve and Osprey have not met eye to eye, and they've also had heated rivalry. Last year's Forbidden Door, it was Swerve and Osprey in the main event for the AEW World Championship. And of course, Swerve Strickland won. The jury is out whether or not Osprey can even beat Swerve Strickland, so there is that. But I also got Forbidden Door. Where's Forbidden Door this year? 30 minutes away from Will Ospreay's home in the O2 Arena. Imagine the bruv coming home to challenge for the title in some capacity. Just saying. But that being said, Arlene, based on what you heard, what do you think happens here? Do you got the Young Bucks winning, or do you have Swerve and Osprey winning?
Just because you told me the stipulation, I see the Young Bucks winning this.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, just because of the fact that they them putting their EVPs on the line like that, I feel like they have a plan. Just because, like, who would put up their position on in AEW as an EVP if they didn't have a plan? I feel like they have a plan, and they're gonna end up winning. We're not gonna like it, and they're gonna be laughing like, ha, 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 your 2 favorite people that you guys wanted in the title picture are no longer gonna be a part of it. And guess who did that to you? Because aren't they the Young Bucks are heels, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so I could see them saying like, we just took out 2 of the people that you wanted to be champions or to be the ones to throw Moxley. I could see them be like, we just took 2 of them, so you know I could see them doing that, and then maybe they have another match somewhere along the line, and where maybe like Toby te lo llevo. Sorry, my mom was
All good.
Um. So yeah, I see the Bucks winning this just because of the stipulation. You wouldn't make a stipulation like that unless you had a plan.
I can see your point. Emmanuel, I do see your hand. Just looking at some comments real quick. The jury is out whether or not Warwick Hero Switchblade Jay White returns from his injury. Because you're right, he also was an opposer to the Death Riders, and I'm pretty sure he's an opposer to the Elite. And Scapegoat Jack Perry has not been seen since January 5th, Wrestle Dynasty, where he lost against Shota Tsuji for the Global Heavyweight Championship. So again, Charles, the jury is out whether or not he even shows up here or the Casino Gauntlet match, honestly. That'd be a swerve. And again, I don't know Warwick Hero, but based on what we're going to talk about here pretty soon, he might as well be one if he gets control of the championships in AEW, because it seems like he's hell bent on power at the expense of Kenny Omega more than nothing else. We'll talk more about that here later. But I'm going to say, as you all are split, and man, I just see you figuring out stuff too. I gotta go with Swerve and Ospreay. That stipulation of not having Swerve and Ospreay involved in any capacity going into Casino Gauntlet, Double Contender, multi-person warfare, having no chance, no path towards the AEW Championship for the next calendar year. I can't see that happening, especially when I think, well, Ospreay was one of the men I thought that was going to be AEW champion this year. With Forbidden Door around the corner, literally by his home, he's got to be involved in something major. And I think the most major thing is something concerning the AEW World Championship. Now, whether or not that's after Casino Gauntlet winner challenges or Casino Gauntlet winner challenges later after that, that remains to be seen. But I just think right now, Swerve and Ospreay deserve the win. And what else do the Young Bucks really need to do in their quote-unquote EVP position that they haven't done already? They tried to suffocate the freaking man tonight after the 8-man All-Star, and Swerve put their freaking limo through the ringer instead of through a freaking car compactor. It's got to go for freaking Swerve and Ospreay, in my opinion. It's got to. But again, Warwick Hero, history is bound to repeat. Tony Khan's a legacy guy. I do see what you mean, but we'll find out. Either way, I'm going with Swerve and Ospreay. Down with the Bucks. Sorry, King. Okay. Emmanuel, I saw you had your hand up. You got to say real quick?
Yeah, just to answer, or like, who would be that stupid to jeopardize their position? I don't know. Vince McMahon, Doko Steve Austin, Jake McMahon, Linda McMahon, Mick Foley, HBK.
What?
The list goes on. The list goes on.
All the Texas people and all the callbacks to authority struggles not named Eric Watts. Ugh, and that's when Don Callis was last called a director of authority as well. Dark times they were in wrestling at, folks, at one point. Dark times. All right. Well, you ready to have some fun, folks? Because we talked about the men. Let's talk about this crazy stacked dynamic women's division, shall we? Let's talk about the women's Casino Gauntlet match, where, of course, the winner will get a future AEW Women's World Championship match. It's a who's who that could be involved in this, but based on 8-woman all-stars, winners will probably see the likes of Willow Nightingale, Queen Aminata, Anna Jay, Sky Blue, Julia Hart, Athena, Thunder Rosa, and by the way, Athena will be defending her Ring of Honor Women's World Championship against Thunder Rosa at Supercard of Honor. But here are some definitives for you. Number one is Chris Statlander, the new Eve International Champion, by the way, beating Anita Vaughn. Great match. Go follow Pro Wrestling Eve here on YouTube. Thanks, by the way, Dan and Ospreay and Emily, for all you do. Love that promotion. And also, as we saw this past night on Dynamite, it was Megan Bain that got the better of the field of Ty Mello, Queen Aminata, and Thekla, making basically Ty Mello bow down with a running Liger bomb. But as we saw backstage following that match, Thekla and Queen Aminata are still going to rip each other's heads off, and I love it. So again, it's a who's who, and with the women of the business, not just in Texas, but maybe recent returns to the independents. Who could show up? Vert Vixen, High End, Maya World, Priscilla Kelly, Atlanta Black. The sky's the limit. And also Ring of Honor could also be in play here too. Bottom line, though, you're calling for a future challenger for the AEW Women's World Championship based on who wins this Casino Gauntlet. And again, Casino Gauntlet goes as follows. 2 women start. After 3 minutes, no woman comes in. And random intervals, another one will come in. And this will keep happening until the first pinfall submission is rendered in the ring. Period. All right, so let's go ahead and get your two picks towards who you think wins the women's casino gauntlet match. And Emmanuel, I'm actually going to start with you. Who do you got?
Well, who I really want to see winning, but most likely she's not going to even be in the match. Deanna Perasso. It'd be a way to for AEW to say, "I'm sorry for the stupid, crappy booking we giving you. Here's like let's try start to build you up and make you a champion. That's what I want, but that's not gonna happen. So here's my real two picks, like sadly, but I just wanted to say that because like what I want versus Tony Khan wants. So
Fair enough.
I'm thinking what Tony Khan wants. What makes sense is the DMD, Dr. Britt Baker, surprising in the Casino Gauntlet and actually winning. The speculations are all false that you've been reading in the IWC that she's leaving AEW, that she's WWE bound. She secretly, extended her contract, and that's a way to have Tony Storm with Dr. Britt Baker. That's the match. That's a match we haven't seen in a while, and it'd be interesting and interesting dynamic that if they could push the limits over Tony Storm if she still champion at this point. If
Dot, dot, dot.
if Mercedes win, it has to go to Mega Bane. Mega Bane destroys Mercedes. If not, I had to go with that. This is my third pick. I know.
He's fickle.
I know. I'm fickle. Like I haven't decided yet. But it's one of those things like what I want to see. Like, but I'll go back to me. I'm trying to think.
I'm sure you'll think of a different name that isn't already all elite or is all elite. But that'd be a challenge because again, think about women that haven't been the other women's world champion and maybe should finally reach that point. To Charles' point, Arlene, Willow Nightingale has been one of AEW's brightest female stars, and she's won championships. And might I add, former TBS champion that Mercedes Moné beat for the title at Double or Nothing last year in her in-ring All Elite debut. Just saying. So again, that's also something else to think about. So Arlene, let's go ahead and get your thoughts towards the women of AEW, or honestly, the women of wrestling. What are your two picks towards this match?
Well, like my brother, I actually have three picks. The third pick I know does not matter, but just because I love this idea and I would buy this if this happened, I would want Harley Cameron to win and challenge for the championship and win so that way little Mercedes can be carrying the little title as she's carrying her
Oh
around,
my
mocking her.
gosh!
Yes, give it to me. I'm telling you, Tony Khan is missing out on selling these puppets of
Mini
Mercedes
Monet
Monet,
with a
Mini
mini
Monet,
championship.
holding the little title. Just because, give it to me, Noah. Anyway, so I don't see that happening, but
Oh
just the
Lord.
fact that
Harley
the little
Cameron, get well
puppet,
soon. Continue.
but yeah, like that would be cute. Like if the little puppet is carrying around the little title when
Gosh.
she wins it, that would be so cute. Anyways, and that's not happening. I don't feel like so. That's why I said, but just throwing it out there.
I
Come
love the
on,
way
Tony
your
Khan.
minds are wandering, though. Still, it was brilliant. Continue.
Just because, like, I want the puppet. If he's missing out, he should be. He could be making a lot of money selling that puppet.
Puppet Special. It's just a Harley Cameron original. Only she has one. Well, continue.
Yeah. But imagine how pissed off. It's just the fact that it would piss off Mercedes Monet that everybody has a puppet every time she comes out. Just imagine her face. That would be just that would make me happy. Anyways.
That's too much Mini Monet. Too much Mini Monet on my screen for one day. Do the continue though. This is getting weird.
Anyways, my second pick would be Camille to be the
Oh
one to win it.
wow.
Yeah. No
Well, that's
reason,
a hell of
just
a
because like
return.
that's one of the names I recognize, and I feel like maybe she'll do something with the title and stuff. And I think maybe like her beating Mercedes Monet could really be the her throw push, giving her that push. Or again, like you were saying, Megan Bay, is that pretty? Yeah, Bay.
And she literally an eyelash of beating timeless Tony Storm, Leslie. Textual and continual in the picks that you did think of. Again, Will Nightingale's got to be a strong candidate. She's got to be a future AEW Women's champion, especially since she also be signed with the company recently. Britt Baker DMD, is it a red herring? Again, she literally was the first female signed to AEW. We haven't seen her since, I think, literally All In last year, if not one other match after that. But Camille, there never was an end game after Camille got assaulted on Rampage by Mercedes Moné. And I don't know right now, she's still working on the American, omit that for now, American Gladiator stuff, because I don't know if that's necessarily affecting any plans. If Chris Statlander didn't just win that EVE International Championship, I would love to see her finally go after the AEW Women's World Championship, because damn it, Stat deserves it. But she's already got a title right now, and I think that's going to have forbidden door implications. So I don't think she's going to win. And also this storyline, John Moxley saying, don't ever let anyone tell you what you are or what you're worth. That's got to be in the back of the head of both Chris Statlander, Will Nightingale and Chris, still far from done with each other. Shafir could play spoiler or protector, just saying. There's a lot of different moving pieces, but I think for my two, oh Lord, looking at the landscape, Queen Aminata and Fekala are going to have a fucking violent match at All Out. Mark my words. I don't think either one of them are going to win. I think I got to go at number 2 as Willow. Number 1, do you run back Megan Bayne and possibly Megan Bayne become the AEW Women's World Champion? That's the thing, though. Especially with this whole idea of rumored women's tag team titles in AEW. And Lord knows I got enough tag teams that can do it. So I got to take a single stars. Yeah, I think we're going to go at number 2 as Willow. Number 1, do you put her in the picture already? I mean, she would just arrive. Alex Windsor is supposed to be coming. I'm going to have to think about this, actually. Manuel, I see you do have your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say it's Marina Shafir, to be honest, like because she needs to be a title, because like without her, like what she's doing in the Death Rider, just protecting Moss all the time. Like she needs to start to build her career and become a dominant woman champion if she's to be credible in the future. I get they trying to do it like a China interacting with the guys, but it's like she needs to be in the woman title card. That was my third pick, but I couldn't think of her name.
Okay, that's fair. So yeah, I think I gotta go with Lynn Knight goes number 2, and even though she did just challenge for it at Dynasty, it does feel like Megan Bayne should be more of a world champion than a tag champion. But what does that do with her and Penelope Ford? So yeah, I think right now, number 1, I'm gonna go with Megan Bayne as well. It's just a matter of who eats the fall and who eats the decision, because again, there's so many internal rivalries here in this match. There's a lot of potential people that are going to screw each other. Queen Aminata, Thekla. I think about, again, what I just talked about. Will Nightingale, Chris Statlander. They're on a collision course to face each other one more time. And Shafir might help in kind as well. So, yeah. For now, though, I'm going to go with Megan Bayne and Will Nightingale. But again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Who else declares themselves? Who else can be a surprise? Do they get the title match at Forbidden Door, at All Out, or somewhere in between that we don't know? None of them was really, clearly said. So we'll see soon enough. And shout out to American Wrestling, JJ Williams. Good to see him, as he, of course, says good evening to me and the Los Domingos. All right. Well, that being said, good talk, good dynamic. I love the fact that we are talking about unique moments that could happen, because this is what the show should be about. It should be about moments. It should be about first-time situations. It should be about history being made. And it doesn't come to more history for me as a professional wrestling fan. Shout out to Sandy and my also NJPW correspondent, Ash, as Ash will be joining me on the All-In Call and Evolution calls, folks. Stay tuned for more on that. But this right here is my fucking main event for so many damn reasons. 7 years we are opening the door on this. What was once a shadow to Kenny Omega. And he overcame what he thought was the greatest wrestler of all time. Proved that he was that. Now he faces Okada one last time where Okada is hell-bent to cause him pain, to drive him in the ground, and even at one point says, I will kill you for this. And again, Kenny Omega says, you made this personal, but I'm sure you're still going in here for business, but you're getting a different Kenny Omega. One final time for everything. The words of the cleaner himself. Kenny Omega, AEW National Champion, won it against Kazuchika Takeshita. Kazuchika Okada, AEW Continental Champion, won against Eddie Kingston last year. 2 titles, 2 legacies, defined into one, unified, winner takes all. It's Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, 5. And this truly sounds like it will be for the last time. The difference here between Dominion and this is not only do we have Kota Ibushi back in Kenny Omega's corner, but Don Callis now is in Kazuchika Okada's corner. And Don Callis, if there's the greatest rival to Kenny Omega, it's Kazuchika Okada. If there's the greatest weakness to Kenny Omega possibly when it comes to knowing him better than himself, it very well might be Don Callis. But is that the winning formula to beat Kenny Omega once and for all, and Kazuchika Okada putting him behind him once and for all? That's basically the question here. Either way, I don't see this being a rematch. I don't see these two face each other again. This has to be the end game for one of them. And Kenny Omega's already come out on AEW saying, I don't have much time left, but I'm going to do as much as I can with what I have. Let's not forget, this guy's coming off diverticulitis with 2 feet of his intestine being removed from his damn body. You're never the same after that. So let's go ahead and see what you all think. Who becomes the first ever AEW Unified Champion? Arlene, hello. I put the wild card out first because why the fuck not? Arlene, Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada. Who defines the AEW Unified Championship as the inaugural champ?
Okada.
There you go. See? That wasn't so hard. And she don't need to say anything else because she never watches, and I respect that. All right, Emmanuel. Just because. Emmanuel, do you think that Kenny Omega, in some weird, bizarre way, is giving this back maybe for Okada based on everything that happened between them and New Japan, and look at where Kenny Omega is? We talk about the storyline, but let's also call facts here. Wrestling is a family. It's a fraternity. And Kenny Omega is one of the more selfless people in this business. At one point, he wanted to change the world. Well, I say what he and Okada did that to a degree. AEW is trying to do that in a different way, restoring a feeling. What do you think happens here? Where we also know when it comes to Konosuke Takeshita, this thing with him and Okada, it's only temporary. And Konosuke and Okada have not faced each other yet one-on-one. Just saying. Who do you think takes it?
I disagree with my sister with Okada. just like that Okada. But wow. Because
accurate.
Yeah. For me, this goes back like you said, in New Japan and how many battles they had throughout the years. They've been going back and forward, and they already faced in their WrestleMania over there the
Wrestle Kingdom. Start all the way back at Wrestle Kingdom 11, transcended into the G1 Climax, transcended into Dominion 2016, 60-minute draw, culminated Dominion 2017, 63-minute plus, 2-hour free falls, no time limit. Kenny Omega won.
Yeah, and I'll predict it's the same. It's going to be the same outcome. And when AEW is going to bring up the new title, we gotta have the Intercontinental Championship. It's true.
The copyright claim. There.
I know it's copyright claim, but it's right there. Like Kenny Omega is the international championship, and Okada is the continental. So Intercontinental champion.
I know. You're speaking verbatim what everyone else has said from the get-go. So that being said, you both are split. Damn it. I imagine I'm still undecided on this. By the way, King, I still fucking hate you, but I'm proud of you. Enjoy this. You get to see this live, and this truly might be for the final time. Well, looking at the chat here, it seems they're pretty split as well. We got War Hero saying Okada all the way. We got Safet saying Omega. Charles is saying Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega with the help from Don. Okada wins against Kenny at All In. And Safet saying if Okada loses, that should get Okada to the main event scene. Well, again, do you want Okada to be this first ever uniquely defined AEW championship that doesn't necessarily devalue the AEW championship? It puts them on a different level, per se, where this title will have its own regime of challengers. Kenosuke Takeshita seems like he's the worst one for top billing. And Kenosuke's already lost to Kenny Omega and beaten him. So there's that. It's also one of those things where, again, how much farther can Kenny Omega go versus how much more Kazuchika Okada's had in this new, smarter, more aggressive, more heelish, and I love it, in-ring style, now being manipulated by Don Callis. At the end of the day, Don Callis is going to win because regardless, he's defining a moment. He's defining history. Somebody he truly had with family, now somebody he's truly using to destroy family. Looking to make sure that Kenny Omega is buried 6 feet under. It's just one of those things right now where I think about what does this lead to? I know what it's going to start, but what does it lead to? And yes, Forbidden Door is around the corner again. I know that. I really do think Konosuke versus Okada needs to happen. And I do think it's going to probably concern this championship. So only because of that little aspect I keep thinking about and wanting to get there, I think that Kazuchika Okada should probably be the guy to win this. And I do think they're going to go along with this Don Callis, Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, MO. And let's keep in mind, folks, Konosuke Takeshita, for those that don't know, he's going to be busy for the next month in New Japan. He's part of the G1 Climax. That is the round-robin tournament, the harshest tournament, the strongest, proficient professional wrestling tournament of the year. But for right now, I think Kazuchika Okada finally gets his win back against Kenny Omega. What does it mean for the cleaner? No idea. But I think Kazuchika Okada kind of needs this. Why, I also think he wants it. I think it's also a no-lose situation. If Okada loses here, what is he? Scooby-Doo? Pink hair dye again? Crazy Okada? Lose himself? Worse than Eminem? I gotta go with Kazuchika Okada. But I cannot wait for what's going to be my match of the summer. Let's fucking go. And Jade is saying, what if WWE had Continental Champ? I somewhat miss the Continental Championship name in wrestling. Just saying. But either way. And Darren G saying it'll be a hell of a showdown. Safed apparently has the paperwork. It is copyrighted. Or maybe he asked AI. I don't know if AI necessarily has the answer. I wonder if AI actually has the answer towards who's actually going to win this. Better than a Magic 8-Ball. Just saying. For me, this is the most 50-50 match of the weekend, and I can't fucking wait. All right. Well, we had a lot of great talk, a lot of great discussion, a lot of great analysis, some unique takes, as I expected, from somebody a little bit in tune to somebody that's not so in tune, but we still love and appreciate both of you. And I love this dichotomy of siblings, but also watcher, non-watcher. This is beyond brilliant. So let's go ahead and get right into what, let's be honest here, it kind of feels like it needs to be in the main event because it is the AEW World Championship. It also might be the last time you see him and Adam Page challenging for it. So says Jon Moxley. Let's talk about the AEW World Championship, shall we? And plus, again, think about your casino gauntlet. The winner will challenge the winner of this match for that title at some point. Jon Moxley defends the AEW World Championship against him and Adam Page in what's now a Texas Death Match. The last time they tried a Texas Death Match, it was Revolution a few years ago. And Heyman and Adam Page not only won, he hung Jon Moxley with a steel chain. Ever since then, though, Jon Moxley has gotten the better of him and Adam Page, saying, you're not ready. You're not willing to go fully all in. Well, you proved to me now you're willing to go all in after buckshot learning Marina Shafir last week. Again, though, tonight, the Death Riders, they did get the win. Jon Moxley got the rear-naked bulldog choke on Katsuyori Shibata to win for his team. And also gave Kid his back, the hired mercenary of Jon Moxley. Just saying. Either way, this is Heyman and Adam Page's promise to AEW, to win and bring that championship back to light. But promises can also be broken and unfulfilled. Is this Heyman's redemption or the Heyman's last stand? And do we continue with the Jon Moxley Death Riders MO into the fall season, where someone's long-term storytelling I've been hearing could still carry out? And could this lead to a return of one Darby Allin? Some things to think about. Just saying. Just saying. All right, guys. So we're going all in on this main event. Anything fucking goes. Texas Death Match. Expect blood. Expect carnage. Expect somebody to be literally destroyed and be lucky to walk out on their own 2 feet. So let's go ahead and talk about this death match, shall we? Emmanuel, let's start with you. AEW World Championship. We haven't seen it since last year's Wrestle Dream. We know it's in that briefcase in protection of the problem who possesses the object of the position of power that Jon Moxley holds. What did Jon Moxley say, though? You want it? Just beat me. 3 seconds. Simple formula. But again, it's hard to beat a man when he has a fucking army. Will Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, Gabe Kidd, Will Pac show up, and Lord knows Marina Shafir will literally take a bullet for Jon Moxley in this mission statement until he's dead or this AEW Championship run is dead, as we've seen. So that being said, Emmanuel, do you think we finally free the AEW Championship from obscurity, or does this continue even longer?
I don't really want the storyline to continue, to be honest. But I have a deep feeling that, unfortunately, Mox is gonna retain this match somehow, some way. And yeah, like Charles said, like if Darby returns, it's a clear indicator that, and he wins the casino gauntlet. It's a clear indicator that Moxley's going to win. Hopefully, that's not the case for me. Like, really hopeful that it doesn't happen. But like, I don't trust Trony. Like, he believes in Moxley. He thinks he's doing a fine job as AEW champion. That's why he hasn't been dethroned yet. And sadly, I think, like, he's gonna lose at his own town, Adam. Like, he's gonna lose it. I mean, it's kind of weird that, for me, it would be like a kind of redemption because his first title run was so bad that it is considered one of the worst AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and that's not his fault because of booking wise.
No, it's not.
It'd be a great redeemer to have a second run and make it mean something. That's what I really want to watch. Like I said, it's just for me. Like I have a gut feeling that Tony is gonna go with Moxley and give it to Darby, since Adam already had his opportunity, but like I said, like hopefully he does win it and relieve us from the storyline, and he has the redemption storyline and have a better title run this time.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you're looking at it from both sides, but it sounds like overall you're leaning towards Jon Moxley retaining. And again, Arlene, it almost feels like for Jon Moxley, it's a way to prove truly that no one is ready to be a WWE champion if he beats Heyman in his own game. Heyman and Page only lost one Texas Death Match. It was at Full Gear against First Strickland 2 years ago. But the last time he faced Jon Moxley in this environment, he beat him. So it almost feels like, in a way, Jon Moxley beating Heyman at the own game he called, it puts Heyman out of the title picture permanently, probably. And that's kind of Jon Moxley's MO at this point. And for everything you want to say about Jon Moxley and this run, there's a reason why he is the 4-time AEW champion, the light out of the dark, the gray between the black and white that AEW pretty much has had as their lifeblood, their backbone, since Jon Moxley came in and ushered a paradigm shift at DON 2019. So I actually do agree with you, Emmanuel. I do think this has to go on a little longer because at the end of the day, is Heyman Page the right guy to close the book on the Death Riders MO? Considering, no official graphic by the way yet, folks, the Death Riders will be challenging for the AEW World Trios Championships, and it may not be the original 3 that you're thinking of. And I also wonder, are there other people that Jon Moxley has been recruiting into his regime? Whether he's manipulating Chris Statlander or shaping her to finally stand on her own, not worry about others or have friends and finally become a Women's World Champion, or add somebody alongside Shafir to be just as lethal, that remains to be seen as well. Plus, Gabe Kidd will also be in the G1 Climax. So you know you won't see him for a while after All In, just saying. But it's also one of those things, how much farther Can the Death Riders MO go? And here's another thing I think about as well. We're heading back to Cincinnati, Jon Moxley's hometown, 2 weeks after All In. Or excuse me, literally a month after All In. That's Jon Moxley's home turf. I'm just saying. One way or another, Jon Moxley's going to be in there, and he's going to have a pretty definitive position. Last time he was there, he defended the championship against Hobbs. I think you get something similar. That's why I don't think Jon Moxley's losing. I think Heyman goes down in a blaze of glory, but this time Jon Moxley finally chokes him out with that chain and puts him behind him once for all. I got Jon Moxley also retaining. Arlene, go ahead and close this out. What do you think about this storyline with the Death Riders based on what you heard? Heyman and Adam Page's road to redemption, whether or not he actually achieves it or literally left in the dark, kind of like what you were there. Or do you think the towers finally brought a little bit to light? Go ahead. I like this. This is fun.
I am actually agreeing with both of you. I think Moxley is going to retain. And as you guys were talking, I was going to bring up the point that there's a reason. It goes back to the EVP match where the stipulation was where Strickland and Will Ospreay don't get to challenge for the championship. I think there's a reason why they did this. They did that stipulation. They have a plan. I scratch your back, you scratch mine, Moxley. Maybe the I forget their names right now. Their names escape me. The Bucks. There you go.
Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Yeah.
Come in and help Moxley win, because Moxley's probably gonna help them win the match. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. You help me, I help you. You end that way. You know. I can see that happening. Like I said, they have to have a plan. Otherwise, why would you put your EVP unless you didn't know for sure? I mean, like I heard my brother say, well, in WWE, but this isn't WWE, man. This is AEW. So maybe they do have a plan. So
just gotta... I mean, again, what sort of power do the Young Bucks have to help the Death Riders if they lose their match against Swerve and Ospreay? Death Riders might as well throw them to the curb or bury them 6 feet under in the desert. They're worthless then. It's just one of those things where I almost feel like either at All In, you end the Death Riders MO entirely, or you end one part of it. And I do think the EVP part of it is going to end sooner than the Death Riders as a whole, because the Death Riders have been a focal point of AEW. Whether people like it or not, you can't argue that they basically have carried most of the damn show. So it's just something else to think about. Safet, though, with a quick thought here, and I'll go back to you, Emmanuel. If Mox wins, the crowd will be pissed off. Well, there was a sign in Adam Diamond where it says, if Heyman loses, we riot. But it also does make me wonder, would this be the main event, or would this be the semi-main to offset that, and then you have the good moment with the Unified Championship? Again, many people already called that the main event. I kind of agree. But I also do think you need to make the AEW World Championship once again important and on screen. So I just don't know. And Darby Allin, AEW original, he's got so many different things he kind of wants to do, and I can respect that. But is he truly dedicated enough where they want him to be the face of AEW? They want him to be the champion. Now I'm kind of scratching my head and thinking about at this point with Heyman being dead solidly focused in AEW, maybe he is the one that deserves it. But for now, I just think they're still going to hold it on Jon Moxley and hold out for the Wrestle Dream to end the nightmare that began last year. And it wouldn't surprise me if Bryan Danielson was the one to endorse Darby Allin in doing it. He may not be able to wrestle. Doesn't mean he can't encourage. Anyway, man, I see your hand real quick. What you got to say in closing?
How about the Ted just said that he's wrong. I mean, there's a reason why people have been mad that Mox keep retaining, but you still see and watch. So you're not gonna stop watching. It's like you become numb to it. Just like me with John Cena as champion, you become numb to it. You just accept facts. It's like it's true. It ties together. There's a reason for
I guess you would continue. It's similar. It's similar. Do anything by any means necessary, or the same tactic, low blow, belt to the face. But with John Moxley's case, I mean, we've had. Let's just go down the MO of John Moxley's title run, shall we? He did Worlds Collide Fatal 4-Way. All hell broke loose. He was able to retain it successfully there. He faced Cope for the AEW Championship. Christian Cage, worst cash in AEW history, failed. Christian Cage was incapacitated. Swerve Strickland came the closest. EVPs decided to align with the Death Riders. We saw what happened there. Ty was now on the line at Double or Nothing, but it was Team AEW that got the better of the Death Riders and the so-called Founding Fathers. Now here we are at All In, where truly we're going all in for the future of AEW, whether it's a brighter light or more of the same. And I expect that to happen possibly as well, because I still right now am leaning toward Moxley retaining. Because at the end of Dynamite, it was the baby faces that held the ring down while Shafir saved Moxley from a buckshot lariat, and Claudio took the bullet as they went face to face. Foreshadowing, folks, goes a long way. Go ahead, Emil.
But to finish my thoughts on, so I'm about to say, because I feel like Moxley, like if he stays as champion and you haven't tuned out from AEW, nothing's gonna stop you from seeing AEW. Just like me with John, like I said, I'll go back with John Cena. I still watched the even though the John Cena was champion. I didn't like Cena being champion, but it's something I tolerate because I support the other wrestlers, and that's why you keep watching that. You not necessarily you might not like the main who's on top, but you keep watching because you love the wrestlers who are in the company and the hard work they show, and that's why you keep watching. So I disagree with that statement that even though the IWC Warriors going, oh, I'm pissed that or mad, I can't believe Mox retained. It's just worse. No one listens to you. You're in the minority, in a small pond, making no noise. In the deep, it's in the deep forest. I do see it's in the deep forest. You can scream, "Help! Help!" Is anybody going to listen to you? No. They're going to keep on growing.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound, people still don't know the answer to that question. But I also know the answer to this question. We also don't know the answer of what AEW is going to look like after All In, where you might have everybody go all in this match to make sure the Death Riders and John Moxley lose the AEW World Championship, man and woman. Let's not forget, Willow Nightingale still says she wants to be the biggest problem for the Death Riders. Willow, Swerve, Ospreay, Ops can all get involved here along with the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. So again, it's all-out warfare at All In for the AEW World Championship and for everything else for that matter. But still, good stuff, man. Thank you, Arlene. But again, folks, what are your predictions for All In? Are you as excited as us? What is your main event? What do you hope to see happen? Who do you hope to see return, debut, become All Elite, man or woman too? Who challenges next for both world championships, whether Forbidden Door or later or sooner? Let us know in the comments down below. We hope that you tune in to our watch along this weekend. We're providing alternative coverage for AEW All In. I believe it's going to be me and Ash once again. So stay tuned for more on that. Before we go and bid you all fine adieu, thank you for tuning in to the second of four Sleepy Disneys that I'm doing this week as well. I appreciate all of you. And I definitely appreciate both of you, Dominguez, as always, too. So, again, unless I see you all tomorrow, good luck in the league, Emmanuel particularly. Arlene, if you want to roll the dice and join this just to see what you do in your All Elite debut, I will send you the form personally, too. Just let me know. That being said, I hope to see you both for Evolution tomorrow. But if you want to plug your stuff, I welcome you to go ahead and do it. So, Emmanuel, where can people further engage and find you?
I mean, under Emmanuel Dominguez on Facebook, EDM7324 at Instagram. I mean, other than that, you can find me here, and you could follow the YouTube if you want, because I have a YouTube channel too. Like for some odd reason you want to follow me, that's up to you. But other than that, like hopefully AEW kills it and proves why it deserves a second chance, out for those hardcore fans who want to be fans again, and hopefully they deliver. If not, And I'm not sure what else you could do to bring back fans at this point.
And it's one of those things as well where, like I said, this is AEW's turning point of no return. You had to restore the feeling you came out originally with in 2019 at this show, or you will never, ever be the same great alternative you sought out to be originally. Again, shout out to good old JR, by the way, that will be back also at AEW All in Texas. Glad to know he's cancer free. Way to go, Boomer Sooner. Arlene, again, always a pleasure. Again, I hope to see you and Ash, Tatilla, and others as well for Evolution tomorrow night. But in the meantime, where can people find and engage with you in case we don't hear your lovely voice tomorrow night?
Thank you for the invite, Noah, to join the AEW. But I feel like it's like the NXT. I was saying to my brother when I won, I wasn't going to enter it the second time, that I was good just winning the first year, because I had barely started watching it again. And the fact that I won was kind of like one of those like moments where I'm like, I don't know how I won, but I won.
Divine intervention, the luck of the draw, luck of the click.
Whatever it was, I was like, and the fact that I'm doing good this one, I just don't like the stress. I hate stressing. I like just enjoying it. So maybe this might be my last year for NXT, because I just feel like it's too much pressure on me, because I do want to do good. And the fact that like sometimes it's like, I would have been perfect last pay-per-view if Stupid Yoshi had come. I would have been perfect. All the matches I had gotten right, except for that one stupid match where Yoshi decides to butt in. And every time I see Yoshi, I say, "Screw you, Yoshi, for ruining me my perfect pay-per-view."
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I agree. Not on the Nintendo screw Yoshi, but also the Pro Wrestling Noah guy, because he screwed up my scores that time too. And at the end of the day, like I tell other friends, it's for fun. There's nothing on the line. Just have fun and give it a chance. Because you'd be surprised. I mean, hell, how you think I'm doing pretty damn well in WWE when I barely watch the product as it is? Highlights, I guess, are just enough, but I do get what you're saying. But that being said, Arlene, as you do look at other fans wrestling, I respect and appreciate that. Where can people further engage, find you, and try and promo value, JJ?
You can find me on Facebook under Arlene Dominguez, just like you can find me on Instagram, Arlene Dominguez. On Twitter, it's ADM73244 for some reason. I don't know why they added the extra 4, but that's how it is. I just found out Tatilla is going to be going to Survivor Series in San Diego. I hope to meet her there, because me and my brother are going to go to Survivor Series in San Diego.
Good
And
deal.
So hopefully I get to meet her in person, because she seems pretty cool when you talk here. So it would be nice to actually meet her in person. So yeah, those where you can find me. And yeah, like if I were to go perfect like my brother in AEW, I'd be like, I don't know why I can't do that for WWE, because WWE I'm doing horrible. All right.
Well, yeah, the jury is out, and I gotta get the updated graphic. But yeah, you're a little bit low there. But hey, keep going and keep having fun. Is all I gotta say.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I have to say.
Fair enough. Well, thank you, Arlene. Manuel, I do see your hand. And again, before I give it to Manuel real quick, again, I hope to see you both and others. I hope to see you here tomorrow night. The Sleeper Edition continues. We'll be discussing wow, I'm tired. Botch WWE Evolution 2. So please come back here tomorrow night at the Simple Man's Brand, the Simple Apple Studios, for Sleeper Predicting WWE Evolution. Thursday, July 10th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to go really deep dive into this, considering Slammiversary implications are on the line for that match. That and so much more. Emmanuel, I do see your hand real quick. What you got to say?
All we have to say is, like, it's more easier to predict what PK is predicting, because he actually listened to IWC versus Triple H. He actually listened to the casual, and that's why we do so horrible, because we don't listen to the casuals. We listen to the IWC more than the casuals.
And it's always got to be something that's heard somewhere amongst the internet. Damn, it's a fit. All right, but fair enough. Well, again, if I don't see you on tomorrow night, good luck, regardless of any of the events that you take in. And again, folks, I didn't do the NXT front because I just realized something. Duh. NXT and All In are at the same time on the same day. So why the heck? I'm just going to send out freaking both forms tomorrow at the same time so that way you all can take care of 2 of the biggest events this weekend. I figured that's easy. So you'll actually find both NXT and the AEW forums in the comments of not only the AEW streams, but the NXT City Predicting streams some point tomorrow, I promise you, and on my social medias too. So again, good luck to all of you. Again, the AEW forum will be after Collision, NXT, some point prior. So stay tuned. And again, folks, I will be back here tomorrow hosting another panel, because I'm crazy, for City Predicting WWE Evolution, where we'll be talking about this and so much more. So join the conversation if you can. Sounds like JJ will be there. I sent out the invite to Datilla and Ash. We'll see if they join the fray. You know, you both are definitely welcome, as always. So we'll see whether it's 2, 4, 5, 6. Who the heck knows? On City Predicting anything but come tomorrow night. But it's always it's something, right, Charles? And Svet, so find me if you choose in Fox1916 on the X and on YouTube. But that's all I'm going to say for now because I'm not going to be redundant. That's all I'm going to say for now because I don't want to be redundant. You get the idea. Again, I'm literally on a stream, quote unquote, of 6 straight days of streaming. I'm fucking nuts. So again, stay tuned tomorrow for City Predicting Evolution, City Predicting Ring of Honor Supercar of Honor on Friday. I will be calling Ring of Honor Supercar of Honor. Probably solo. I'm going to Joey Styles it because fuck it. And also, of course, go all in on Saturday, man. And also call, of course, WWE Evolution the following day. And yeah, Saturday night's main event. Someone else I think is going to take care of that. If I need to be on standby for that, I'm always happy to help out a friend. So stay tuned. And it looks like DJ. Well, if he's awake, I know he's tired, a father. He's in the same time zone as me, so we'll see what happens. Again, truly, folks, we encompass all the wrestling. So until next time, as always, like to wish, encourage, and remind you there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans with opinions with this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your entirety too, treasure your families, and just stay alive and enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much for tuning into another edition of City Predicting. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell as video goes live or on demand on this channel or any of the channels here at the Simply Reliable Studios. Have you subscribed today? If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it. Don't be a dickhead. Subscribe to Bad for Wrestling, our Canadian friend Ash. Subscribe to The Rage of Wrestling, Walter Cruz. That's The Rage of Wrestling. And subscribe, of course, to The Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams. Subscribe and support my friends. And follow DJ on the X and Datilla on YouTube. And again, we will see you tomorrow night for City Predicting. That's all I got to say for now. So in typical British game show fashion, I'm going to now bid you all a fine adieu. So, for Arlene Dominguez, say goodbye. She waved.
Bye.
There we go. For Emmanuel Dominguez, say goodbye.
Goodbye. And JJ, update that picture. If Mercedes does lose, her reaction will be priceless.
I thought you were going to say timeless, but I do see what you mean. For Safet, for Charles, for DJ, for JJ, for War Hero 99, for Darren G, for everybody in the chat. Thank you again so much. Rage of Wrestling, Walter Cruz, Colin, Andrew, Christopher Rotz. Again, you all make this possible. Body Man, appreciate you. As well as anyone else that wasn't even in the chat but decided to tune in even for a brief moment. Yes, I am probably more hyped for AEW all in than our shows. That's just the type of wrestling fan I am, defined by strong style and the competitive nature of professional wrestling, damn it. But it is a goodbye for me for now, as I do cover all the wrestling. I'll be back here for Evolution. Again, Montserrat and King have a great time there live at AEW all in. So until tomorrow night, we cover only women's professional wrestling, especially this. Thank you all for tuning in to AEW All In Texas preview, hype discussion, and City Predicting. So make a positive impact in life and have a good night. And let's freaking go all in this weekend for all elite wrestling. Have a good night, folks. See you tomorrow night for Simply Predicting W Evolution. Take care.
Come on, Tony and Paige.
Yeah, keep holding on, Manuel. As long as Time with Toy Storm wins, I'll be happy. Oh, good Lord. I saw that half of this show, and they have you cotton ball motherfucker. You going to get your head blasted in and your Coach Dill pickle cut off. And Mark Prince go get his way with you during that casino gauntlet, man. I can't wait. Oh, shit. I forgot to hit the button. Whoops.